A rough week for Uber appears to be getting rougher. The New York Times is reporting Uber used software to elude authorities in cities where the ride-hailing service is not yet approved. By using the program known as Greyball, Uber employees were able to identify undercover officials who were trying to catch unregulated Uber drivers.
The report follows recent allegations of sexual harassment throughout the company and a well-publicized argument between Uber's CEO and a driver. Here to explain all this is Jason Tanz, editor-at-large for Wired. Jason, good morning.
Good morning.
What exactly was Uber doing here?
So Uber's strategy was to essentially launch its company before it received regulatory approval.
Yeah.
And as part of that, that meant just sort of putting people out on the road.
Yeah.
And occasionally there were some cities that did not take kindly to this and were investigating it. So what we're learning now is that Uber had ways of determining who was working for law enforcement and essentially shunting them to a fake Uber site so that they were unable to hail Ubers.
Wow. And this is all, I mean, so the Uber says the program was developed to deny ride requests to users who were violating the terms of service.
Right.
But part of the company's statement about the Greyball program specifically points to what it calls secret stings.
Yeah.
Is this lawful?
So I am no legal expert. Apparently, Uber's own lawyers say that it is. I imagine others may have a different opinion on that. I honestly can't weigh in on that. But what it does do is it points out. So the strength of Uber has been its willingness to just go hard at everybody, you know, ask for forgiveness rather than permission, and probably don't even ask for forgiveness, just go hard.
Just keep going, yeah.
Right, and it worked for them for a really long time, and their whole argument was, you know, the taxi and limousine commissions are trying to shut us down, so we don't have time to wait for regulatory approval. That's exactly how they stop stuff like this from happening.
Yeah.
So we're going to get our consumers on our side, we're going to go hard, and we're going to dare people to shut us down.
What's interesting, and you mentioned to this before the segment began, that the leaks are coming from within Uber, effectively.
That's correct, and that's I think the real change here. Uber has behaved aggressively and obnoxiously, frankly, for a really long time, and had not really had to apologize for very much. The difference is after a few weeks ago, when Travis Kalanick was essentially forced to step down from Trump's Business Advisory Council. That's because his own engineers were activated by
They were angry about it.
Exactly. And the engineers in Silicon Valley have a lot of power. There are not that many of them, and you want to keep them happy.
Right.
So the fact that his own engineers are saying enough is enough, I can't work for this company anymore, or I'm going to risk my career with Uber by leaking this to the New York Times, really tells you something.
And consumers have options too, right? I mean, Uber's not the only application out there if you want a ride-sharing ride service.
And that's the real danger for Uber, is unlike Facebook, where you're locked in because all of your friends are there, with Uber, you can just go with another, you know, often the same drivers drive for several ride-sharing companies.
Right.
It's just pushing another button. So there's not lock-in. So what Uber's been trying to do has been to work very aggressively and hard to develop that lock-in by building like self-driving cars and things like that. And this gets in their way because they need government cooperation to do that, and they need engineers to do that.
Jason, very quickly.
Yes.
Can Travis Kalanick survive as CEO after a week like this?
I would say 2 months ago, I would say yes. Now, I am not so sure.
After a season like this, it has been rocky. Jason Tanz from Wired, thanks for everything.
Thanks a lot.